The chicken eggs you see here represent some of the last ones we hope to ever have to buy.
Guten Yardening, everybody. Well, they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and if I screenshot this right now and you look at that picture, I can promise you that I could say far more than just 1,000 words about what this container of shells represents to us. Because if you look closely, if I try to sift through these shells, what you can see are the last few remains of the last few chicken eggs that we hope to have to buy. And outside of those few shells, what you see are many, many quail egg shells, the remains of quite a few delicious meals that we've only just begun to eat. Now, I realize that what I'm talking about today isn't specifically gardening related, but it is something that is certainly a part of our overall goal here at Guten Yardening of self-sufficiency. And I want you to think about this from the same lens that you think about gardening and growing your food. In your mind, I want you to picture an example of a vegetable that you no longer have to buy because you grow all of your own of that vegetable. And I want you to focus in on that feeling of self-reliance. That's how we feel when we grow our vegetables here. And that's also how we feel as we no longer have to buy our vegetables from the grocery store, or we have enough of that organic produce that we no longer have to rely on someone else's efforts to bring in the quality and quantity of food that our family needs. Well, for us, this represents the next logical step, where we remove the need for vegetables and now we add in our own supply of eggs and eventually meat. Now, it's a little bit hard for me to believe that just over 2 months ago, we started raising our Coturnix quail, our Japanese quail, with a purchase of 10 Coturnix teens from my Shire farm. Now, those teens were unsexed, meaning that we didn't know how many hens and how many roos we were going to get. Now, from our teens, we got 4 hens, and we realized at that time when they started to lay that we needed far more than just those 4 hens. And it was at that time that we purchased 6 additional hens from my Shire farm. And now here we are just a few short months after that initial purchase date, and our 10 hens that we now have are laying eggs consistently. That's right, we're getting 10 eggs nearly every single day from those hens. And how amazing is it to go out and gather these eggs? Well, I'm going to put this in the perspective of one of our favorite pursuits, which is to go out and dig up fresh potatoes or fresh sweet potatoes. There's something that we would consider to be almost magical about that experience, about being able to pull that food out of the ground, that enjoyment of a treasure hunt. Well, we don't have to dig for these. They're right there on the bottom of our cage, but I can tell you that that excitement of going out and finding an egg in our cages is not something that has diminished in the least from the first egg until now, where we're up to about 200 eggs that we've already been able to gather. And of course, this is separate from gardening in terms of a learning curve and learning experience. We do have a lot to learn still about these quail, for sure, but we're going through those steps, we're gaining that knowledge, we're seeing what works and what doesn't work with regard to cages, we're looking at expenses, and we're seeing already the value produced by these hens. While I can tell you that we are certainly satisfied with the production from these hens, it's been fantastic so far to see them lay consistently. As you might have guessed, we want to go bigger and we want more of these hens. So if you followed us, you know that we've also hatched a few additional from the ones that we bought from my Shire farm. We had 4 of our first eggs that we put into a cheap incubator. 3 of them hatched and 2 of those survived. And now those 2 have been moved out to our outdoor cages, which brings our total up to 18 quail. But that is not the end. We put another 25 eggs into that inexpensive incubator, and we're planning to get hopefully somewhere in the neighborhood of 60% or so, based on our candling, production from those. But we'll see, that's coming up in the next couple of days. But in addition to this, and we just did a video on this, we bought another 50 Celadon eggs. Those are the blue quail eggs that we have in our incubator, and those are now about a week or so away, hopefully, from giving us a really good hatch rate as well. And so what we're looking at now is over the next couple of months to expand far beyond the 16 or 18 quail that we have now, to ramp up that egg production and to guarantee that we don't have to go back to the store and spend $4 or $5 on a dozen organic chicken eggs, not when we can come through here and get egg after egg from our ladies. So I'm sitting here thinking about what this means truly for our family, because there's so much importance here, so much value in this little container. This represents so much to us at a time where costs are skyrocketing. And yes, there are costs associated with raising our quail, and we'll talk more about that as we go through later videos. There's cost for feed, there's cost for the initial cages that we're buying and for bedding, etc. That's 100% true. But that cost, when it comes to a comparison of what we'd have to spend buying our eggs from the store, is going to soon pale in comparison. And we are again no longer reliant on the supply at some grocery store without any guarantee of what the price will be next, without any guarantee of the availability of what we're looking for. And now we can say we are regularly getting enough eggs for our entire family to enjoy healthy meals. And fairly soon, we should have a surplus of those eggs as well. So I hope you see what I mean when I say that a picture's worth 1,000 words doesn't even come close to describing the value that I see right here in this container where we've been gathering these eggs. Now, if you'd like to track our journey on our website, GutenYardening.com, you can go over and check out our quail journey. That's one of the main tabs on the site. And you can follow our story and journey as we blog about it, as we post videos about it there on the website. And I think this is one of my favorite parts of the website, you can track our quail egg production, so you can see what that looks like. Now, if you have any questions for us about this, go ahead and leave them in the comments. We would be happy to answer based on our experience so far. Remember, we're just getting started. We're just in the process of learning, and we're enjoying every second of it. And I'll say this, we're enjoying every single bite of it as well. I'm just really excited for what the future holds for our quail farming here at Guten Yardening. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video today, and if you did, don't forget to give us a like, leave us a comment, remember to share and subscribe, and most importantly, remember, when you're with us, you are good to grow.